So, good day, ma'am. I am Jason Arondan, and we are the group 3 for the subject CDI 10. And our topic to be discussed is about the writ of kalikasan. So, let's start. Writ of kalikasan, according to the book, is a remedy available on behalf of persons whose constitutional right to a balanced and thoughtful ecology is violated and threatened with confusion. So, it means ang writ of kalikasan mo ni siya ang remedyo, no, na ginagamit sa mga tao sa Pilipinas na kapag ang constitutional right sa usa ka tawo na violate, no, gusto sila og thoughtful ecology na violate na, so ang ginagamit is writ of kalikasan. Now, the violation must involve environmental damage of such magnitude as to prejudice the life, health, or property of inhabitants in 2 or more cities or provinces. So, nai-requisite para magamit ang writ of kalikasan. Una, kinahanglan ang maapektuhan sa environmental damage is 2 or more cities or provinces, and maka-cause siya o danger sa life, health, or property sa mga tao nga nagpuyo ditoan ng mga lugar. And writ of kalikasan is available to a natural or juridical person or any public interest group accredited by or registered with any government agency. So, pag minintag natural person, mao nitong mga tao, kita. Pag minintag juridical person, mao nitong association, corporation, or any organization. So, next, issuance and return of the writ. So, according to the book, Section 5, issuance. If the petition is sufficient, the court issue the writ within 3 days, ordering the respondent to file a verified return and may include cease and desist writ. So, it means kapag ang petitioner nag-file siya ng petition and sufficient, sapat siya para makakonstitute o probable cause. Now, ang court mag-issue og writ of kalikasan within 3 days from the day na gi-file ang petition. Also, attached dito ang court order na si respondent kailangan siya mag-file of verified return dito sa napasa. Also, kauban na rin ang pag-cease and desist order. So, it means ma-stop temporarily ang operation sa katong filean og petition. Now, the service and penalty. The writ must be served promptly and duly by a court officer in issuing or serving the writ is punishable as indirect contempt. So, it means kinahanglan kapag i-serve sa court ang writ of kalikasan, si court officer i-issue din nila sa tao na nag-file petition. And if maka-cause of undue delay na punishment na impose si court sa court officer, which is an indirect contempt. Ang indirect contempt, only siya ang pagsuway o pag-disobey sa korte. Gawas sa courtroom. Kaya tinatawag siya o indirect contempt. Now, Section 8, return. The respondent must file their verified return within a non-extendable 10 days period containing all documents, supporting affidavits, and expert evidence. Now, if na-receive yung respondent ang writ of kalikasan, tagaan siya sa korte o 10 days from the date na na-receive niya ang writ of kalikasan. 10 days siya, tagaan siya 10 days na mag-return containing all defenses, supporting affidavits, and expert evidence sa lahat of operation. Next is hearing schedule. The court may call a preliminary conference and is conclude in entire hearing within 60 days. So, on the date na katong file, return um, si katong file ng petition. Now, within 60 days, ay may tabok na preliminary conference of the trial. So, ang purpose ana ay sabutan sa both parties na mapadali ang ilahang pagliti sa korte o sa kaso, no? Mas masimplihon ang pag-hearing o pag-trial, and para ma-detalan ang gastos pag-hearing. Next, discovery measures. Parties may file motions for specific discovery tools to establish the magnitude of environmental threat. Una, ocular inspection order allows physical entry and inspection of designated property, supported by affidavits of witnesses, entry and inspection of designated property, supported by affidavits of witnesses having personal knowledge of the violation. It means an ocular inspection order, mao ang order para ma-allow ang personnel na mag-inspect dito sa area, no? If na-adjud by threat sa environment sa usa ka sa duha ka cities or two or more cities, ganong na file of writ of kalikasan. Next, production or inspection of documents and things order. So, compels production of documents, objects or tangible things, including objects in digitized or electronic form, relevant to the petition or the return. So, kini siya, i-inspect ang mga dokumento if nabay paglabag sa environmental laws, ang objects or tangible things na makahatag og threat, so maka-cause of threat sa ito ang environment. Next is Section 13, Contempt. The respondent will be punished for indirect contempt for refusal or unjubilee in filing a return, making a false return, or disobeying a lawful order of the court. So, morning ng gingon, kapag maka-cause of unjubilee, no, refusal, wala tayo mag-file of return. So, taga ng impose of indirect contempt to court, and submission of case for decision. After hearing, the court issues an order submitting the case for decision. The court may require the filing of memoranda within a non-extendable period of 30 days, if possible, in electronic form. So, minsan na human ang hearing sa kaso, so court may issue siya, no, yung case for decision. The court file siya memoranda, no, within non-extendable period of 30 days, hindi na ma-extend 30 days, and if possible, electronic form para pas ang process sa kaso. Next is judgment and appeal. Rule 7, Section 15 to 17. Judgment period. The court shall render judgment within 60 days from the time the petition is submitted for decision. If possible, within 60 days is dapat yung judgment sa kaso. And the judgment shall grant reliefs directing the responding to: first, permanently cease and desist from committing the lawful acts of the humanitarian mean kung naabag yung threat sa environment, no, na maka-threat sa life sa mga inhabitants sa two or more cities, is permanently cease and desist from committing the lawful acts dito sa operation. Second, protect, preserve, rehabilitate, or restore the environment. And third, monitor strict compliance and make periodic reports on the execution of the final judgment. And also, limitation, the court shall grant all reliefs that relate to the right to balanced and healthful ecology, except the award of damages individual petitioners. Meaning, katong related lang sa case, or ito ang mag-grant ng relief. Example, may mga operations na kaundang, and yung kini padayon, kini kaundang katungod, makadaot din siya sa mga tao. makadaot siya sa kalikasan. And appeals. Any party may appeal to the Supreme Court under Rule 45 of the Rules of Court within 50 days from notice of adverse judgment. Appeal may raise questions of fact. So, meaning, after render ang judgment within 15 days from notice of adverse judgment, yung party pwede maka-appeal sa Supreme Court, no? Para maka-raise a question or pwede pa ba ma-reverse ang decision. So, that is my part. I will now give the floor to my classmate.
To proceed with the topic, we also have criminal procedures, prosecution, civil action, and arrest to follow. This is from rules 9 to 11. So for the prosecution of offense first, from rule number 9, it is instituted by a complaint. It is filed by any offended party, peace officer, or public officer charged with enforcement, or yung mga law enforcers natin. And then, or an information. For the information, it must be subscribed by the prosecutor, none other than. So to proceed, prosecution of civil action from rule number 10, the civil action for recovery of civil liability is deemed instituted with the criminal action unless reserved or waived. So for the meaning of that one, when you have civil liability, you also is deemed constituted with criminal action as well. And reservation must be made during the arraignment, or yung pagbabasa ng do you call for guilty or not. Yun. Next, arrest from rule number 11. Two types of arrest that are recognized in this topic. We have arrest without warrant. This is when the person has committed or is committing or is attempting to commit an offense in the presence of the officer, or when the officer has probable cause based on personal knowledge that an offense has just been committed. And the other one is the warrant of arrest. It must be accompanied by a certified true copy of the information that was subscribed or that is subscribed by the prosecutor only. Yan. To proceed, we also have custody and disposition for seized item from rule number 12. So this is the applicable rule for the rule number 12, or for section number 1, applicable rules. Custody and disposition shall be in accordance with applicable laws or rules promulgated by the concerned government agency or by the assigned government agency. Section 2, or the procedure. In the absence of the specific rules, the apprehending officer shall physically inventory and, whenever practicable, photograph the seized items in the presence of the person from whom they were seized. From what I also understand from Ma'am Pinky's in cybercrime, kailangan dyan na to mag-document by photographing the seized items. And for the reporting, the officer shall submit the inventory report, compliance report, photographs, representative samples, and other pertinent documents to the public prosecutor for appropriate action within 5 days from seizure. From the day na nakuha ang gamit, you have to count 5 days for you to be able to provide the seized items. And then lastly, auction sale. Upon motion by an interested party, the court may direct the auction sale of seized items. The proceeds shall be held in trust and deposited with the government depository bank. Yan po yung mangyayari if yun ang mga seized item legally, ay yung mga legal na seized items. For to proceed, we'll also have rule number 14 for the bail. Filing of bail for section 3. Bail may be filed with the court where the case is pending or in the absence of the judge, with any regional, metropolitan, or municipal trial judge in the province, city, or municipality. And a whole departure order, if the court grants bail, it may issue a whole departure order in appropriate cases, case-to-case basis as well. And then also, written undertaking under Section 2, still for the bail. Before granting bail, the accused must sign a written undertaking agreeing to appear for arraignment, waiving the right of information, and consenting to a not guilty plea if absent without justification. Second, waive the right of the accused to be present at the trial upon failure to appear without justification, allowing the trial to proceed in absentia. Or even if the accused is absent and there is a scheduled trial that day, they will still go on with the trial. So to open with rules number 15 to 16, we also have sections number 1 to 2, arraignment, plea, and pre-trial. Arraignment, from rule number 15, the court shall set the arraignment within 15 days. Again, that's 15 days, with notice that it will entertain plea bargaining arraignments. What is plea bargaining under section 2? If agreed upon, the court shall issue an order, proceed to receive evidence on the civil aspect and render and promulgate judgment of conviction. That ends mine. I will give the floor to Judith.
So for the continuation, I will explain the summary. I will not gonna read the PowerPoint. And yes, so explanation of this, or in summary of this, it talks about the start of the pre-trial or pre-trial process after arraignment. So what happens? This explains that the pre-trial must be scheduled within 30 days from arraignment. So that means may schedule sa 30 days para walay delays. And it also describes the purpose of the preliminary conference, which is para makatabang or makahelp siya sa both parties na ma-prepare put early by identifying evidence or marking or tagging the documents and agreeing on facts, prosecution ba, and that are no longer kanang awayon or a dispute, or that are no longer disputed. So this helps make the actual trial faster and more organized. So it is faster, organized, without delay. So that's the purpose of 30 days before or 30 days from arraignment. Mag-schedule siya within 30 days from arraignment. And then for this slide, I will also not gonna read the PowerPoint, but this explanation of this one is, or to summary of this, is that it explains what happens during a preliminary conference and the duties of the judge. And it states that everything discussed must be written in the minutes of preliminary conference, including marked affidavit of witnesses, and also this katong mga affidavits na ginagamit will be used sa trial, like affidavit of witness, katong complaint complaint affidavit, mga or counter affidavit, and so on. Those affidavits will gonna be used during sa trial. And there is also question and answer, of course, question and answer format by the judge. And ang judge, kailangan po niya mag-identify of what issues na i-discuss sa trial, both factual and legal. And it said that exact trial dates. So kung sa tong dates, dili po siya pwede advance. Kailangan jud siya kung unsa to nga adlaw, unsa to nga dates, unsa to na dito ara jud. And this helps that the court create a clear and orderly flow of the case. And the next one is that it explains two important outcomes of the pre-trial. which is first, of course, the agreement statements, katong mga agreement nila, and admission made during the pretrial must be written and signed by the accused. Also, the lawyers, accused, also lawyers, yes. So, they can be officially used during trial. And second, ang judge kay mag-issue siya og pretrial order within 10 days or within 10 days after pretrial ends. So, pagaman sa pretrial, kailangan within 10 days mag-issue na og pretrial order. Ba? Again, the judge must issue a pretrial order within 10 days after pretrial ends. So this order summarizes everything agreed upon and sets the direction of the trial. So it becomes the guide that controls how the case will proceed until the final judgment. So ang pagkasunod-sunod nila and how to organize those. So, mga ang pinaka-importante to para wala pa confusions. And next one is, so this explains how the trial should be handled after pre-trial. So, after pre-trial, order is issued. So, naanay pre-trial order. It says that the court must try to conduct continuous trial, meaning ang hearings kailangan mahitabo regularly and without long delay. So, bawal siya ma-delay in general rule, pero dili jud na maiwasan. There are some jud na ma-delay, pero dili siya need or dili acceptable ang mga long delays. So, this continuous trial should be completed within 3 months from the issuance of the pretrial order. See, inana kadugay ang justice system gyud. Grabe kadugay, daghan kayo nag-i-review pa, kailangan pa evidences and so on. And the pretrial order also explains that witness testimonies will use affidavit instead of long direct examination ng court. Kailangan na siya sa ganitong ginagamit affidavit. Judicial affidavit nang ginagamit karon, dili na pareha sa una na sige lag direct examination. Karon kay ipasa na lang tong direct affidavit judicial affidavit para basahon na lang to para mas mapadali ang kaso. Mao na ang bag-o karon. And the witnesses affidavit acts as their direct testimony. So di ba ginabasa na lang dito. But the opposing party can still cross-examine the witness and challenge any parts of the affidavit that they believe are not allowed. So, kato mga misleading questions na dili pwede or leading questions na dili pwede. So, pwede to ma-object. And this makes the trial faster but still, even though paspa siya and so on, but ma-maintain gihapon ang fairness. And the next one is that precautionary principles or rules 20 to 21. So this kaninga slide nag-introduce siya og precautionary principles which is applied in environmental cases. And it says that when there is a lack of full scientific certainty about whether an activity causes environmental harm, makaharm ba siya sa environment, sa court, the court still protect the environment, or the court should still protect the environment. So this means that the action can be taken even if complete scientific proof is not yet available. And this also explains the benefit of the doubt, which means that when human life or health and environment is at risk, the decision should be for protecting people and nature. So it is really important that kung maano ang human risk, ilang health man, diba? That's the most important thing, especially the nature, human and the nature as well. So the decision always should favor protecting people and nature. So this includes mga threats na may na makaapekto sa future generation, and dili lang siya sa more on present, dili lang siya sa past, but this also emphasizes, or it's not limited to those, but this also emphasizes about the future generations. And the last slide is that documentary evidence. So this discusses the types of documentary evidence na ma-accept sa court, which is relevant siya nga mga evidences. So it says that kanang picture or videos and similar recordings na pwede siya gamiton ba evidence as long as they are authenticated by the person who took them, or someone na maka-confirm jud na kana kay accurate, which is maka-confirm ano to mga expert, diba? So kapag kana nga evidence is relevant, then accepted siya sa court. And it also explains that entries in official records, such as reports made by public officers while performing their duty, are considered prima facie evidence. Prima facie evidence, which is kanang ebidensya that can stand alone unless rebutted. And or another meaning of that one is accepted as true unless proven otherwise. So that's what I mean. And this makes official records na maging strong jud ang evidence during sa trials, which is accepted and strong as well. And I guess that's it. Yes. So that's it. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something. And yes, bye.